us are here because we like it. A lot of us are here because we're crazy. A lot of us are here because we're anarchists and we don't believe that work is a good way to live. I'm not sure it's necessarily that people have a wrong perception of what homeless people are like, that you know, a lot of us do sit around doing drugs all day, but it's that people don't look at us as individuals. People tend to see the tweakers and the junkies and the drunks, and they think it's all of us. And the fact that this is such a free town kind of permits that they're allowed to exist.
There's a large homeless problem like there is in any city you go into in the country now. And my personal feelings is that this country doesn't want to face homelessness any longer. They just want to shovel it under the rug, you know, as if it doesn't exist. And it does exist, and it exists in great numbers, especially with older people that are completely forgotten.
Yeah, I've been here since 1959. I came from Chicago. I came out of Cali in 1978. I've been the head of 2 unions. And in 1996, my diabetes got real bad, and that's what made me homeless.
But a lot of the so-called homeless, the young people, are really young people that have left home and are sort of an adventure to find. They come to Berkeley because they've heard it's a wonderful, wonderful city, and it is.
I spare change sometimes. I play my music on the streets, and you know, I kind of like a simple life, but people that work a job, and you know, especially police, don't seem to think that's even a legal idea to live simply.
The police department watches out for me because they know I'm a diabetic and I'm an older man. I fell out here in 2 comas, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here today. So I can't say anything negative. Right, they're on their job, according to me.
It's very much a police state, even though the cops are more likely to take a look at your pipe and hand it back to you while it's still packed. They're really quite heavily canvassed. When I get stopped, usually 5 cops end up rolling up just to run my ID and see if they recognize me as a criminal, which I'm not out to hurt anybody. I'm just broke.
See, we must have great facilities for homeless people here because there's so many. I mean, I hear stories all the time walking to work about people just moved here from Arizona or just moved from Seattle.
Oh, it's beautiful, because one thing about Berkeley, they feed their own, you know. That's one thing you can do. You can eat. If you can't eat here, you can't eat nowhere.
Oh, I've been coming here about 2 years off and on. I like it here, but it's they call it Berkeley for a reason. You're bound to go nuts eventually. It's, one of the few outdoor rubber rooms we've got in this country.
They got its advantages, but they got a lot of disadvantages. Well, they got a lot of places here in Berkeley that feeds for the homeless, but they don't have enough shelters. You know, and there's a lot of people that get SSI like myself, but you can't find a place, not even a decent room to live, you know. And they have a lot of public places that are empty and look like these organizations that are receiving a lot of donations, a lot of big money, will be able to help the homeless get in these places. And it's really kind of awkward.
It's an awful issue because it's an awful issue everywhere, but not specifically for Berkeley or for any place else. It's just a very, it's just a lack of social consciousness that we do treat the homeless this way in our whole society. That's what I feel about it.
I'd like to just say, you know, appreciate the students that's here, because there's a lot of students that really look out for the homeless. You know, they make sure that you have clothes, they make sure you have food, and whatever else you might need. You know, a little change once in a while. And that's pretty good, you know. Yeah.
Everybody's just trying to get by, you know, and just because these kids or these people look a certain way doesn't mean that they're not down for just a great smile. You don't necessarily have to give them change because they're, it's probably, you don't know what you're paying for. I just, but in general, I mean, just gotta pray for them and hope for the best, yeah.
If we're not bothering you, please leave us alone. Stop calling the police if we're not hurting you. We're just trying to live our lives. We ain't got much at all. We got too much stuff on our own backs to steal from you guys.
How about it? Help us stop it, artist. My God bless you.